So first of all, let me just get you through the project. पहले हम देखते हैं हमने क्या प्रोजेक्ट डिजाइन किया है आपके लिए. So first of all, we'll see that it's a hospital food delivery management system. It's not a normal management system. It will be a full stack project. So in this, we will be using Munstack. We will use React, Tailwind CSS for front end, and for backend, we will be using Express, Node.js, MongoDB for database. So after that, let's see go through the project. What our project will have. First of all, our project will be having a authentication section which will have login, register, logout pages. Then we will have patients management separately. In this patient management, we will be performing CRUD operation on all the patient's data, which patient is coming, going, and updating the patient's details, etc. things. After that, we will go to the diet charge management routes. In this, we will be developing some backend routes for managing the charts for the diet. The diet will manage them in format of table. We'll see how we can manage that while working through the project. So it will also have CRUD operation, all this get, post, delete methods, all the methods. Then after that, you will see we will have delivery management routes. In it, we will track daily delivery of every food, that the patient has got the food or not, everything, status of the delivery. It will be managing this. It will also have CRUD operation. Analytics, we will also try to implement some of the element analytics technique using different libraries. We will see. It's a like it's optional part. We will keep it optional. First of all, we will work on basic, but it is the we'll definitely build it. We'll see it. In the front end pages, we will have first authentication pages for login, logout, login, register. We will have two pages. After that, we will have a dashboard which will show us different information. In the left side, we will keep the side neighbor also, and in our screen, we will show all our dashboard things. Then it will have different routes, pantry stuff, delivery stuff, diet chart के लिए एक पेज होगा. Then पेशेंट्स के लिए एक पेज होता है, उनको मैनेज करने के लिए विल हैव डायलॉग बॉक्स विच विल ओपन ऑन क्लिकिंग देम टू ऐड डिलीट और एनी सर्टेन थिंग्स. वी विल हैव डिफरेंट बटन. वी विल बिल्ड देम फॉर पेंट्री स्टाफ डाइट चार्ट. देन डिलीवरी के लिए एक होगा. देन एडमिन के लिए एक अलग डैशबोर्ड होगा. देन we will have different dashboard according to the role of the user, whoever is the user. So if let me just see which user we have defined. Okay, so we have manager, I guess. Then we will have delivery stuff, and we will have a pantry stuff. The three stuff we are having from for three dashboards we will be creating. It will be switched according to the role of the user, and role will be defined at the login time by the user only. So this is all about the project. It will have front end, back end. Then we will deploy it. Our bonus TypeScript. No, we don't use TypeScript. We will use JavaScript only, and we will add basic analytics on it to analyze how which food is getting more, so then we can prepare for the meal previously. So this is about the project. First of all, let me just tell you that I have already started working on this project. In this front end में अभी तक कुछ नहीं किया, लेकिन back end में अभी controllers वगैरह लिखे हैं, सब middlewares वगैरह, मतलब basic things मैंने कर दिए पहले. But I will start from basic for you. uh, I will just copy paste the code to save our time. So let me just create a project here. We will have here hospital tutorial. Okay, so I hope everyone knows how one stack works, okay? But even if no one is, if anyone is beginner in this, it will be a beginner friendly session. So first of all, to create a bit app, we will use command npm create bit latest, and our folder will be front end. So let it just build. We will use, of course, we will use React, plain JavaScript. Let me go to cd front end and just npm install once. So our packages are installed now. Then we will, okay, so let me just open our main folder in VS Code. As you can see, we have here front end folder. We will not touch front end for now. We will start working with the backend. First, we'll build all the backend routes, and then we'll come to the front end. And creating front end will take time. Okay, so first of all, let's create a backend folder for our project. For that, we will create a folder, not inside it, main project, which will be our backend. Let me just cd to backend. And in backend, we will type npm init to create our backend project. So it will initialize our backend. So what will be project name? It will be backend, keep it backend version. You can skip this. Entry point is index.js, keep in mind. Okay, please enter, and all okay, yes. So in the backend, we will first install npm install. We will need Express, we will need Mongoose, then we'll need JSON web token. After that, we will also need mm, bcrypt.js to hash the password. Then we'll need cors to handle cors, and then we will be adding. Okay, yeah, let me just add it. We will add according to our use cases. Oh, we will also need .env. Let me add just after this. Okay, npm install .env. We'll now env files. Okay, so we have set our backend project. We can see here. Let's add the file name. First of all, index.js. It will be our entry point of our project, and we will create all the server. So let's directly create the server. Then we'll see what we can do. First of all, let me just change it to the type module so that we can use import instead of you know, export require syntax. Type will be module. That's it. So we can now use import. Yeah. So import express from express. This is how it is going to. And after that, we'll use import .env from .env. Then import cors from cors, etc. So these are the I have already written the code. So we want to waste our time. I will just get you through the code. I want to get your time. Okay, so just let me copy it. I think we will also need cookie parser, right? Cookie parser. Let's copy it from here. Then anything else? Nothing. Okay. Yeah, it will work. Oh, what? Cookie parser. Okay. We have to copy this name, right? So npm install cookie parser. Now it will work. Let me just close it. So for now we haven't created connectdb function. So I will create it for now. Don't waste your time. Okay. So for now just close this. Course okay. Connectdb also will add later. Here is our patient routers. Connectdb close. Let it be here. Nothing. Then after that you can see here we have env. I will create a env file. Okay, so for now, I have created a gitignore file. In that .env file I have added. I have also created env file sample so you can know what we are going to actually add in. Here Mongo URI will come, which will be reference for our database in MongoDB. We will create it just a minute. After we will need a JWT secret to create a token. Then this is the port number. We will run our file on 5000 port number. And this is JWT expire, how much time after the token will be expire, JSON web token. This is all things. In the index.js we will see I have first of all config.env.config. By doing this we can use our env variables in the project by just saying process.env. or whatever name of the variable. So we have here .env.configuration. Then after that we are going to call express in a variable, app variable. So we can use all the functions of provided by express in our app variable itself. So we are going to call app.use. Use is the method provided by express. So whatever we want to use, we will just mention inside this function while calling it. In the app.use, I have provided a cors function. Cors which specifically defines cors defines us that which website can access our backend. So for now, I have added the localhost 5173, which is our front end URL where we will run our front end. So we will be accessible our backend from the front end URL. Okay, after that we will have app.useexpress.json to convert JSON data, then cookie parser to parse the cookies, and after that we will have a port number process.env.port. If this port number is not available, we will choose directly manually 5000 port number. Okay, so we have added a app.listen function. Listen function is basically used to create a server which can listen different requests from requesting URL. In listen, we have first of all have to pass a port number. We can give it directly variable, or we can directly just pass here whatever our port number is, but it's good to hide the port number. Okay, so after that I have kept the port number. After that we will give it a callback function. There is no need of this, but still we will print in console that our server is running on which port number it is to make it sure that our server is running. Okay, so this is about the index.js. So to create our backend, first of all, we will need a database where we are going to store our database. So for this project, we are going to use MongoDB database as we usually use this only. So we can go inside this, make it sign in. Okay, so this is the MongoDB database. I have already created a cluster where we are going to store our different database collections. So as you can see, okay, so I have created already a cluster for our hospital diet manager. I will make a separate video so we can know how we can create the cluster. But for now, our main aim is to directly connect the cluster. So inside view monitoring, we can see our all database collections and etc. First of all, we will go to connect. On connect, we will choose drivers so we can connect our code to this our backend to this database. So we will choose Node.js language version any other. First of all, we will need to run this command npm install mongodb so that we can use this uh, database in our code. So let's run it once cd in backend. We will run this npm install mongodb. After that, we will have to copy this, and instead of the password variable here, we have to put whatever our password is, and here our username will be shown. So copy this URL and whatever, let me just show you once. So copy this URL, and inside the env file, I will go into inside the env sample, just paste the command here only. Okay, so like this, just paste the command and change this password to whatever your password we have set. I will show you once how to create the database in another video. After that, we will see how we can just call this database. So to call the database, we will to connect the database. So here I will create a config folder. Inside it, we will create a file to connection db.js, and inside of it, we will create a function which will be export const and connect db. Let's name it connect db. And here we will write our function. I have already coded everything. I don't think that we should waste time on these things. I will just let you go through it. Inside config db.js, let me just copy paste it from here. Okay, so this was about the code. Let me show you. So first of all, we will import mongoose. Mongoose gives us different functionalities to handle mongodb in our backend project. So first of all, install mongoose. Mongoose inside we will create a function const connect db name, and it will be a async function. So inside the try catch block, we are going to add await mongoose dot. There is a method called connect in mongoose which directly connect to the database just by providing it the URI of our database. So first of all, mongoose dot connect, and whatever your URL is will be pasted here process.env.mongo URI, which is from env file. So it will directly call. If the database gets connected, then console log mongodb connected. If not, console log mongo connection error, and process.exit.1. Okay. So this is connectdb function. First of all, we have to call this function somewhere. So inside our this folder. So before starting the everything, we will just call the connect db so that the database gets connected before everything happens. So we'll just try to run it. Let's see if it's run successfully. Let me just add a script here. We haven't had normal script. Okay, so inside here we will create a script for node1. We will just write start, and our script will be nodemon index.js. Okay, okay, so let me just run the code. npm run start, and yeah, everything is good. Server is running on port number and our MongoDB is connected. So without wasting any time, we will just start by creating some basic models, and then we will create control. So for today we will work on authorization model. So inside the backend folder we'll have models. It will create say, okay, this is models, and then inside the backend we will have controllers, then we'll have middlewares. After that we'll have, okay, inside, not inside it, utils, and then routes. So just let's start by creating a model. So inside that model we will have first of all user dot model dot js. Okay, so we will first of all import mongoose so that we can create over the, okay, so first of all import, I will just copy paste the code, we don't have to waste the time. So user dot model, and just let me copy this code here. Okay, so this is our user model. As you can see, first of all we have imported mongoose from mongoose, and here we have created a user schema. Using new mongoose.schema we can create whatever new schema we want to create. So inside of it we will have username, we'll have password and role. So inside the brackets we will give the parameters that it wants. So first of all, for username the type will be string, then it will be required true, and it should be unique as the username. And inside password we'll have string, and it also required true, and inside role just its string, and enum is basically gives us authority to choose specific values for that role. So we have manager, pantry, and delivery, three roles. So the roles should be between these. If not, it will not accept it. So after that, inside rows, we will create a const user name variable, and it will say mongoose.modal. So it will say mongoose. So after that, inside const user, we'll create a mongoose.model user and user schema. So mongoose.model, what it does, it creates a model for us. Using, we will provide its a schema which we have created here, and what the name of the model will be. So name of the model will be user. Keep the keep the first letter of the variables capital, so it will be good. And export default that user model. So we are going to use this user model, so we have to export it, and after that we will start creating the controllers. So inside the controllers we will have new file auth controller.js. So inside of this I have also written the code for it. Okay, I have also written code for this. Let me just show you. Inside the controllers, auth controllers. Okay, so we have work on this. Where is our tutorial? Okay, okay, so let me just copy this here. So we'll see everything. So first of all, we are having here JWT from JSON Web Token to create a token. After that, we have bcrypt, which we are going to hash the password. And after that, we are going to import a user model, which we have created recently. So we are going to import that, and we are going to use to create the user. And after that, we are having a generate token function. So we should create the generate token function. So let's go to the utils. We will create here. There will be a function generate token.js file, and let's bring up the code for general token.js from the utils file. Let me just copy it and paste here. You can see we have here JWT from JSON Web Token. After that, we are having .env so that we can use that environment variables to create the token which I have already defined. So inside .env.config we are going to configure everything, and after that the generate token function. So it will take a user ID for which we are going to create the token, and inside it will return directly as a value. The value will be jwd.sign. So by calling the sign function it creates a token. So it needs parameters id which is user id, and after that it will need a jwt secret that we are going to put in the env file. This is jwt secret. It can be anything, but it should be unique and keep it personal, so anyone can't encrypt the jwt token. So for now I'm going to change it later, not going to keep it as it is, so don't worry. So after that we are going to process.env.jwt set. So we are going to give it another parameter which is expire scene. So for how much of days the given token will be valid, it will be shown here. After that 30 days, and just export the generate token. So inside of author token we are having generate token.js which we are going to use. After that let's see code one by one. We have register, login and logout. Okay, so we are going to create a export const register function. It will be a async function. It will take two parameter, request and response. The request which is coming from the front end, and response which we are going response back to the front end. So inside of try catch block we will write every code in try catch blocks. So inside of try we will write the code to create the user. So first of all we will retrieve the variables from request.body which is our front end body. So we are going to export username, password and role which are going to extract from the request.body. So these three variables. So we have const username, password and role which we are going to use to create the user. So if not equal to username, not equal to password and not equal to role, any of each value is not provided, it will directly throw an error and say all fields are required. So after that check if user already exists. So if user is already exists, we don't need to create it. Okay, so we can just say it in, yeah, user already created, and we can make it login. So const existing user await user dot find one is the method to find any value in our collections. So we will find by username if the is as username is unique. So if the you can given username is already present in the database, it will be an existing user and it will return response that status error username already taken, or you can user is already there. So we don't have to create that user. After that, if both of condition are true, that these are if both of condition are false, means if the user is not existing and every data is valid, we need to create a new user. We have to register a user. So register the user, we can save directly password of the user to keep its security and privacy. We will create a hash of that password. So const hash password await bcrypt function which is bcrypt which I have imported, and it gives us a function called hash. So it will take the password and any of the value of your choice, give it whatever value you want, and it will create a hash of that password and will give it to you. So while saving the password, we'll just add hash password, not exactly user put it first. So to create a new user, we will directly create a variable which will store all the data which will MongoDB give us in back. So we will just use a new user. As we create a new object in other programming language, we will just say new user, and whatever users values are there, we will put it here. That username, password of the user which is hash password, and the role whatever user will post in the request body. These three values are coming from the front end of our website. So it will create the user. After that get user.save, so that the created user will be saved in the MongoDB database. So await user.save. So our user is created successfully. So what we want to do next thing is const token. If the user is created, we will directly log in it to the uh, login user to the website and create token which will be stored in the local storage, so that if the user is login or not, we can confirm it. So we'll create token which will be unique for every user by just calling our generate token function, which is just taking a parameter. Where is that function? Let me go. Okay, so this function which is taking user id as a parameter. Okay, so generate token, here we have, and it is going user dot underscore id, whatever id is given to user by MongoDB. So after that we will return a response to the uh, you know, to the front end by just saying return response dot status. The 20 status shows that the successful message, and status we will say success. We will provide a message user registered successful, and we will also return the user object to the front end so that we can use the values of the user to map it in the profile page or any other things. So we will also pass token to keep it in local storage. We will handle those things in the front end section. If in the cache section, return response.status 500, which shows status error and registration failed. Okay, so in the login section, everything is same. We don't need the role. If username and password is given, we have already have the role in the registered user database. So we will take username and password from request body, validate info. If anyone is not there, just throw error. If user is exist, I think user not found. Okay. So first of all, to log in, we will need to check if the user is currently present in the database or not. If not, we will need to register first the user. So let's go. So first of all, in the const user dot find one username से अगर user हमें मिल जाए not equal to user है तो क्या होगा कि एक जैसा रिस्पॉन्स आएगा कि भाई error user is not found. So we'll need to register the user. So if we will see, okay, if the user is not existing, user exists means the condition is false. So we will verify the password of the user by just saying const is match to create true false value, and bcrypt dot compare value. So bcrypt gives us also compare value, which will compare the given password and the user dot password, which is a hash password stored in the database. So it will check both of them, compare them, and just will see if it's match or not. If it's not match, it will return error that password is wrong, invalid credential. And if the password matches, it will create a token and let the user login. While login, it will provide user object also token. So instead of giving specific values, we can directly pass the whole object of the user, which we are getting where, okay, this is the user. So it will directly give the and after token to store in the local storage. Again, the return statement if login failed. Inside the logout state, we just have to, we don't need a API in the logout section, but still if we want to, okay, so it will just remove the local storage token from the local storage. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, so auth controller is ready. We will need routes to route these files. So we'll have auth routes so that we can access those APIs auth.js. So for that also I've already written the code. Where is the utils and routes here? Author, let me just copy this code from here. As you can see, I have imported express, and after that I have both of three of the model: login, logout, and register. Okay, so let me just check. Okay, it's right path there. So we'll have login, logout, register from auth controller, which I have just written here. After that, we are going to create a variable which will be auth router, and we are going to call express.router to route everything. We need router function. We have called it in the auth router. So by doing auth router, we can pass the method which we are going to use. So for now, we are going to use post method, as we have to post things, save things to the database. So we'll use post method. What will be its URL, accessing URL? So it will be whatever our localhost number is and slash auth slash login for the login page. And for register, we will have slash auth slash register, and for logout, we will auth logout. So these are three routes. Before doing anything, we will need to call them inside the here our index.js. We will say app.use. We'll pass a URL. I think we can pass here. Let me just check it, and we will just copy from here out.use app.js. Okay. Okay, so we'll need to import this auth router here. So we'll have API slash auth, and after that, whatever route has been provided here. So I think we don't need this auth as we are having here also. So we can just cut this app auth from here and just keep API. Okay, cool. So we will go and create API here. We have created our APIs for login, register, and logout. So we will just take it out. Is it running or not? I guess I have already written test cases for this also. We will go inside register. So if you want, we can just create a new. Let me just copy the path as it's same path. So we'll get create new request. In that we are having the post request, paste the URL, whatever you are going to call. So we will call the register API. Okay, so this is our base URL, and after that we are having API slash auth slash register as we have routed. So it will take a body. In body we are having username, password, and role, I guess. Okay, let me just copy. We have already created the body. So we don't want to test time, so we'll just create test user 3. Okay, password will be here, and after that role, see if our role is manager. Let's just send the request and check if it works properly or not. So here we are having a error. Okay, okay, we haven't run the program yet, so let's run the backend. Cd backend npm start. Okay, so this is our program. Let's again send the request, and yes, we are done here. Success message, user registered successfully, and the whole user object is written here: the username, the password which is hashed, then role, whatever role is, and the specific unique id given to each user, and the token which we are going to use. So after registering, let's try to run our login api if it's working also, so we don't have to provide the role here. So after that, let's see, and just send the post request to the login api. Okay, so what we are having there, so let me just remove this. Okay, now send. Yeah, so login successful. Again, it has given us the whole user object, also the token. And let's see the logout api. It doesn't need to be tested, just let's call it what happens. And here we can see logout successful. So this is how things are going to work. Let me just, okay, it was that doesn't work. So this is how we have created our auth controllers to manage all the login registration things. So this is how our project is going to work. So we'll start working on the next routes for the next video. We will create all the patient round and everything. And I think we don't have to waste this much time. So I will just keep the code already ready and we will copy paste it. Okay. So thank you so much. That's our for video. We'll see in the next part what happens.